Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Report, and starting with the ASX 200 here. So just going over the larger count, which I have two counts for. One is that we have wave 3 here, wave 4 here, wave 5 here, and we're looking down at an A wave here, a B wave back up into this box here, which would be the 5,900 area, and then wave C down lower into the 5,000 area. The other count here is that we have wave 3 here, and we have an A wave here, a B wave up here, and a C wave here for wave 4, and we move straight up through this area through here. And if that was going to be the case, we would need to see 5 waves up there. So where the A wave is, we would need to see that as wave 1 here, back for wave 2. This is a third, up into the 5.9 is the third wave. We would need to see this move here, instead of coming down through here, we would need to see it as a corrective move here as a wave 4, and then a wave 5 here. If we get 5 waves here, then we'll see an ABC correction here, and then we'll move up from that point there. So in both cases here, the wave count is going to be the same. We will only know once we get to this point here, unless one of the other markets around the world give us a signal that the markets are going to move higher, then we'll know from that point. But mostly these markets are all in the same boat. What we're looking for around the world is we're trying to understand if we're going to get 3 waves up or we're going to get 5 waves up. And you'll notice this with stock as well. So there's a lot of stocks out there across in any exchange that have 3 waves up. So we just need to wait to see if we get 5 waves up. But in the meantime, of course, we can trade these patterns to the upside. It's just nice to know where we are, that's all. And if we don't know, well then we still need to take the signals and work with a smaller wave count, smaller degree of structure. So on the 4-hour chart here, we're looking at this move here. So this move up here can be wave A, or it could be wave 1, and back for B or wave 2, and then up for wave C of B, or up for wave 3 here. So like I mentioned, both counts are the same. So normally what we would find is that wave 3, if it was going to be a wave 3 here, would be longer than wave 1. So on that note here, if we take this little stick here I've got, that's the length of wave A, put that on the low of wave B here, that will take us to 5.9 here. So that still gives us only 3 waves to that particular point there. I must say though that that the structure within this move here compared to this one here has a lot more body in it, hasn't it? It's bulked out a lot. It's sort of acting like a third wave, but it's not giving us that that power of the third wave as well. So and we can see here that wave 1 is much sharper to the upside. So that's what normally happens in corrections as well. So wave A would be sharp to the upside, wave B, and then wave C is a bit lazy like that. And the same to the downside as well. Wave A would be sharper, and then wave B would be what it is, and then wave C would be a bit lazier this way, reluctant to move down, reluctant to move up. So we need to be mindful of that. Let's go into the hourly chart where our trades are for this. So from this wave B low here, I've got a few positions in here, and it's possible that we got a top in here. So I've been counting this here as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, the 5 waves up here for wave 3. And I've been looking at this here as an A and a B and a C wave over here for wave 4, and then up for wave 5 here with 5 waves up here to make wave 3, and then an A and a B and a C back. So Thursday can be the bear day. Wednesday is normally like a V-shaped day where it trades lower on the first instance and then makes a new high for the day. And then Thursday can be the bear day. This is the bullish weekly cycle, and then Friday and Monday to the upside. So it's always nice to sort of understand that, and if that's falling into place, well then you can kind of get the wave count working with you as well within that structure. It is possible, as I mentioned, to have this top here. This here is 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, to have this third wave here, which would make this green fourth wave here and make this third wave here the fifth wave here. So it's possible to have a high in here at this stage. I still want to leave the stop out of the way here for the fourth wave, but it's probably not a bad idea to take a little bit of profit in this area now. I'll just put it there. Just to lock in a little bit. We can always move back in. So in terms of moving back in through here to go up to 5.9 area through here, I think I'll just go to, I want to use the trading levels here and the pattern that occurs there. So I won't go to the tick chart because I can't draw on this side of the tick chart. So I'll just go to a clean chart. So 5-minute chart should do the trick. So let me just get in a little bit more data here. Okay, so 5.8, the 800 here, or number 8, is a minor trading level, and then we have the sub-levels. Sub-levels are 65, 72 and 80 down below, and they belong to the 5.8 here in this case. And then above the level is group 1, which is 1, 2 and 3, 10, 20 and 30 in this case. So the norm is that, well, first of all, we expect number 8 here as a profit-taking number, and once it makes its high here, then it could certainly, I mean, it's doing that anyway here. But the idea with the levels is, in this particular instance, they can be used in many different ways, but we are working, this is the closest, largest number. So this is the number that we're working with. It's all about this number here at this stage. However, if group 2 here becomes the retested resistance here, then the market's going to leave the 5.8 and work lower from that point. But as you can see here, it's done its job and it's supported the market, so it still belongs to this. And this group 1 above here, 1, 2 and 3, they're the resistance, and they will hold it to the 5.8. Unless the top of group 1 here becomes the support, then it's going to leave this number and work higher from that point. So what we would need here, let's just say that we have some sort of V-shaped day here and we go higher here. So what we're looking for the next trade up to the upside here is we want this 5.830 here as support. So we would still need to see the first high above the level here to get another long position. So that would move here and here, and as soon as we've got that first high above the level, in this case here above the 30, then that's our trigger. Yes, we can bring the trigger down and we can skim in and get better and closer and all those sort of things. We may understand the wave count and we could get in lower through here as well and build through these levels, but we need to know that number 3 is going to be the support before we can go along again. Otherwise we'll get trapped. So from here we can go, I think from here we can look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, even though it didn't make a new low, so we'll call that the low here. And this can be a simple A wave, B wave and C wave to this point. So we can have 1 and 2, nice strong third wave here, fourth wave, fifth wave. So we can have the high in here. So it's possible that that we can get our A wave, B wave and C wave to this point here for that wave, other wave 4 that we're looking at, and then move up. And yes, we may be able to move in longer here, and because we've got the ABC correction here, then we and we've gone through, this is the classic trading levels pattern where we have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the A, the B and the C here, and then we move up here. So you can see it in Elliott terms, or you can just see it in the classic trading levels pattern here. So anyway, I just wanted to sort of talk about that a little bit without going any further into that. So we'll move on to the Nifty actually. So the Nifty's a bit like, you know, when we look at the Australian market just a moment ago, we looked at wave 3 being over here with an A wave here, a B wave up here, and a C wave here for wave 4 here. So that's really possible here. We can have wave 4 in play here. We will just need to see this market move up higher through here. In fact, we'd want to see the 61.8% here as the support. It's possible that this 3 A, B, C is in place here. It's also possible we've got a triangle place here too, as wave A here, wave B here, wave C here, wave D here on top of this one here, and then wave E coming in where wave B is for wave 4 here, and that's the low, and we can be moving up from that point there. We also have to respect that this is possible 5 waves down here, so either a C wave, and if this is a top here, but it's hard to, like I've always said, with the Nifty and the Nikkei, it's very difficult to count 5 waves up here. I mean, I can squeeze it in, but I don't know, it just doesn't, something not quite right about it. So this little pattern that's moved up here, we can count it as being corrective, or we could count it as being impulsive from that point. So I'm not sure what we've done on the 4-hour chart here. I'll just check that. Okay, so this is a count here that I was looking at. This here is an A and a B and a C here. It's pretty much the same with an A wave here, and then a triangle for wave B here. So an A, B, C, D, and E here for a triangle here, and then having 5 waves up here. So it would take us above the 61.8% mark if that was going to be the case. So from wave C here to, well, I'll take it to this low here, but perhaps we just should even take it to the low of wave B here, and that would bring us up into this point here. So it does take us above the 61.8% mark. So we just need to be wary about that here. So we'll have to work with the levels over here, 1, 2, and 3, but 100, 200, and 300. Same thing we talked about with the ASX just then. The other point here to make is that the move up here can also be the bullish side to this, and I think we need to take that on board. We've been looking at that as well. So with wave 4 in place here, and then looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, an A and a B and a C for 4, and up for 5 here, for 1, back for 2 here, then up for 1, an A and a B and a C for 2 here, up for 1 here, and back for 2 here, and then we're moving up higher through here. So what we wanted to talk about before, we know that we've got a bit of a triangle pattern coming through here as such, but we wanted to pretty much go short below here, and we want to go long above here. That was our sort of little signal that we're giving ourselves here. So on the hourly chart here, don't worry too much about this count here because we're working 2 counts. So we talked about going long here. I've got this labeled a little bit sort of weird here, but it's what I've taken off the actual physical market, because on the physical market, this is the high here. So I'm looking at this here as an A wave, a B wave, and then the C wave down through here. I know that this could be counted as an A and a B and a C to here as well. So, but I've taken it off the physical market, the cash market. So the other thing here too, if you've been triggered in long here or you're not long yet, that's fine. If you're not long yet, then we'll be looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here. This appears to be a nice 3rd wave up here. So it could be the 4th and the 5th here. It's a little bit short, but I'd imagine this would be the 4th wave here. So this is the 50-60% mark. So if the market moved down past the 10.8, then would need to be stopped out from this point. But otherwise, we can look from here to here for the 38.2% retracement level, which will be down into this space here, and then up here. And if that's the case, then that would give us 5 waves up through here, wouldn't it? And then we would see an A and a B and a C coming back, and then a move up from that point there. So, yeah, that's sort of where we are. That. So as long as this market stays above 10.8, then I believe that we should stay looking at the long side. I know that the long side is a little bit early because we know that the resistance is at 11,000. We know that The 50-60% retracement level is just above that. So we're not out of the woods yet, you know. So yeah, pretty bit of a tricky one. But markets are looking a bit bullish around the world, so that's nice. And we've got the US earnings that have started on the 14th or 15th. So we'll see what comes from that. The banks look pretty strong today. Let me move on to China. So with China here, from the top here, I don't know if we've got, I need to do a little bit more work here. I don't know if we've got a low in place here just yet, or we've got wave 3 here. So wave 1 and 2 and 3 here. Oh, sorry, and 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. So I don't know if we've got an A and a B and a C and a D and an E into this wave 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for. So I don't know if we've got wave 3 here yet or wave 5. If we've got wave 3 here, then the 38.2% retracement level is at 11,500. So we can trade long here because we may have wave 5 low in or wave 3 low in, but either way we should end up back at 11,500 for this. So yeah, so let's just go in for that for a moment here. So we can have the low here at 3 or 5. So last time we spoke, we were looking at this as possibly being 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we'd go long above here, and the market's gone up through that now, so that's fine. It's probably, I need to double check that this, I need to go to the tick chart yet, but it's possible this can be 1 and 2 here and 3 in here and 4 and 5. So it can be the top of wave 1 here and back for wave 2 because it just seems sharper. And then we've got 5 waves here because we've got a short pullback here. So we could have this as 1 here and 2 here and then 1 and 2 and going into a third wave now. So we'll just see how we go with this. Let's go to the hourly chart here. So we'll just keep the stop quite close at this point, at this stage here, and we're also going to run into problems right in this space here because it's the 50-60% retracement level from the last sequence here of 5 waves. So from here to here, that's where that resistance is. So we do need, you know, then we've got we've got a lot of supply over here. Supply just means sellers. So there's going to be resistance in amongst all of this here. So we're not free to go really until we've got 11,000 as support, but we just wanted to get in a little bit early here, keep the stop out of the way, and if the market's going to climb higher, then we can move on a little bit. So that's that, and also the Hong Kong market, Hang Seng. So the same thing here again as well. If we look over here, we've got 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves down for wave 3, 4 and 5 here, and then wave 4 here and wave 5. This has always confused me a little bit here as well because we didn't make a new low here. So in fact, this wave 3 here, this could actually be an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave up here for wave 4, and then we come down for wave 5. So that's on the table as well. But oddly enough, I've seen wave counts get skewered because of large numbers like this. This is a medium level here, 25,000 in terms of trading levels, halfway between 20 and 30. And yeah, and we can count from here 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So it does all squash up, but it does all fit. So yeah, let's just move into that here. So this is what we were looking at here. So the length of wave A here would be roughly the same as wave C here, if that's going to be the case, but we can have wave 5 low in here. So I don't think we've got any further than that with this. Yes, we have here. So so we can look at this as 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 here, which is a bit short. Wave 4 has come into play here now, so that's wave 4. We can bring this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should move a little bit higher here. We may come down lower here, but basically we should move up into this space here. So, and that would give us wave 5. And from wave 5 here, we need to look at this here. So from here, we can pull back lower from this point here into this space here from that. So 27,000 would be the target area if you're going to go long from that point there. And secondly, we can move this stop up into this space here just to protect that position there now, if that's going to be the case. So definitely look to take profit at the 27 here. Might move up to 27.20 is always a nice number for this thing. Okay, that just leaves us the Nikkei now. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so problems with the low here as well. So we can clearly see that we've got this ABC here on the 4-hour chart. We've got 1 and 2 here, and then we've got the third wave down here. So we'd be looking for the fourth wave, which I thought was here at the 38.2% retracement level, and then I was looking for wave 5 to come down. Wave 5 didn't make a new low. The other Asian markets didn't either, some of them, and they pushed up as well. Sure, we can get 5 waves out of here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So do we call that wave 5 of C here? And we're finished here because I thought to myself, well, this can just be the A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point here. But now that this top has been taken out here from this top here, then because we got 5 waves from here to here, that's quite clear to me. So taking out this high here pretty much negates that that being a wave 4 there. So need to move that out of the way here, and then we would need to look at this perhaps moving up as another structure moving to the upside. So we'll just see how chirpy this move is here before we sort of call it in a little bit here. So let's just go to the hourly chart here. So, last time we spoke, we talked about all of this in terms of from wave A, B, and C here for wave 4. But if we take this top out here, which we have now, then we need to think to ourselves, well, that can't be an ABC anymore because it's moved too high. So unless there's a mistake here, but so in a nutshell, we were looking to go long above here. But we also want to get a smaller position on this high here. And with this, I mean, it's a nice setup here. This is a perfect setup, really, because it was resistance and now it's become support. Okay, and that's fine. And you can also go through here and have these sorts of setups here as well. I didn't do it on this one, but if you know me well enough, then you know that that's what we also do as well, but I didn't do it there, so we'll remove that. Here, let's just do the same thing again. We can see we've got 1 and 2 here. Nice strong third wave here, so we've got some sort of fourth wave pulling back to the 40% mark, and we'll see a fifth wave move up here. So once that fifth wave moves up here, then we'll have an A, B, and C correction here, and then we'll go up further. So if you're not long, don't worry about it. We'll look to go long here, and we can also just do what I mentioned over here as well in moving that down here. So let's see if we get that ABC pattern. So that's our next setup over this side here. If this market drops below the 20,000, you cannot be long at that point. Do not go into prayer mode and start, buying hope at that stage. So if a market moves through the closest largest number, you got to be out. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.